Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I have a new layout here to share for the Pinkfresh Studio design team, and it's for the July challenge, and you can find all the details over on the Pinkfresh Studio blog. It goes up every month on the first Sunday of every month, and you can see the color scheme there. It fits the new office hours collection perfectly. So what I did was pick out a couple of pattern papers here, and I'm going to scrapbook this photo today. This collection centers around work or things that you would do at your desk, or goals, priorities, getting to work, that type of thing. And my main job, besides being a scrapbooker, is being a fitness instructor. And so I've been a spinning instructor for over 11 years now. And so that's kind of my office. Every Monday morning, 8:30, that's what I'm doing. You can find me in the spin room teaching my class. And so I'm going to try to make this office hours collection work for my type of office, which is the gym. So I'm going to start with this really busy pattern paper. I'm going to use it as my background. And what I'm doing is trying to fade out a lot of the pattern in the middle. And I'm using white acrylic paint because it's a lot thicker than gesso and it dries a lot quicker, and it's going to cover more area faster. You can kind of still see the background through it, but most of it is kind of faded away. Now, before I add watercolor, I'm going to come back on top of that with some white gesso. The gesso is thinner, but it's a little bit grittier, and it's more of a primer than a paint. And so it's going to allow me to add lots of watercolor and liquids to my background. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here in just a minute once I get to that point. I'll explain the difference between white paint and gesso when we get there again. So what I decided to do was start with this really cute pattern paper. It's got all these fun bright colors and these little cards or labels that look like they have little bits of washi tape stuck to the top of them. And these are perfect for journaling, but I'm going to use them as layers and as part of my design element. So I cut several of those out, stacked them together, and my photo is going to go right in the middle. Now, off camera, I went through a lot of the die cuts, and there's so many of them that work for my layout. This one that says hustle, one that says, yes, I love my job, one that says daily grind. I mean, you could interpret these in so many different ways as far as work goes. Everybody has a different type of work, whether it's at a desk job or whether you're at home, being a mom, you work from home, so many different interpretations of quote unquote work. So this could be used for lots of different things, even though it's centers around a job. Lots of different jobs out there that you can make this work for. Okay, so I pulled out my little tray here. I have this tray. It's just got all my Pinkfresh Studio watercolors in it, and I think I've got almost all the colors in there already. So I'm going to do some messy watercoloring here on the background, and I'm starting with some blue with a little bit of purple mixed in. I'm trying to get the blue color that's exactly in the papers there, and I'm just using my brush, dabbing a little bit on, adding a little bit of water, kind of turning the page, letting it kind of run and blend. And that's what the gesso is going to allow. If you just add something like this to straight pattern paper, you can almost guarantee that it's going to just soak right through immediately. You're not going to get that nice blended running look. Like you can see the paint's just sitting on top of the paper here, and I can smudge and blend it a little bit. You're not going to get that. So the gesso is what allows that to happen. Now, the reason I used white acrylic paint first was because I wanted to cover a lot of that background. Gesso would have done that, but it would have just taken a lot more coats of it. And the white paint is a little bit thicker because it's paint, and so it was able to coat more area a lot quicker. So that's why I used the paint first, because I have a lot more white paint than I do white gesso. So once the paint dried, I just gave it a little coat of gesso on top of it to make sure that I was able to do what I'm doing here. I hope that makes sense. And I always get a lot of questions about, why do you use gesso, or can you use white paint? And you can use white paint. I've actually done that before, and the watercolor will work on top of white paint. It just has a little bit of a different effect. It takes a little bit longer to dry because the finish for the white paint is very slick, whereas the gesso is a little bit gritty, if that makes sense. So definitely different finishes. And you can try both of them. Get out some scrap paper, test both of them, and see the different effects that you can get. So I added some blue at the top, some green at the bottom, and now I'm coming in with some of that yellow color. It's a different yellow. It's not sunshine yellow. It's got more of like a greenish yellow tone to it. So I mixed in a little bit of green with that yellow to get more of that exact, I guess you could call it maybe mustard. So I'm adding some splatters there. I'm adding a little bit of the red tones because there is a little bit of that. It's almost like a coral red color. You can see it there. Not a deep red, but more of the lighter coral pinkish color. I know my descriptions of colors are definitely not professional. I just kind of say what I feel like it looks like. Pinkish, reddish, coralish, So I decided to go with a little bit more of the yellow, and again, I'm just using my brush. If I feel like it's too much, I'll just dab it up with paper towel and keep going with it. And I love how this is looking. And I've said this before, I'm not a huge fan of that grass green color, but it just works in this collection. I think when you mix it with other colors like this, it just works, and I really like it. You can kind of see this is how the background's going to look. Lots of splatters, lots of messiness going on here, and I just like it. I think it's fun. I like doing kind of, blue at the top, yellow at the bottom. I'm sorry, green at the bottom, yellow on the sides. Did I say that right? With a little bit of red splatters, and yeah, I think it's fun to do it that way. So I'm going to add a little bit of foam behind all of those layers that I stapled together. I forgot to mention that. I used my little tiny attacher to staple those together. And my first thought was to put the picture and all those layers right smack in the middle and just kind of work some embellishments around that. There's so many things that would work for this. I love that hustle piece because, say that a lot in spinning. It's time to hustle. It's time to work. Let's get going. Talk about motivation, teamwork, focus. All these words that are on these die cuts and pieces are perfect for this. So I'm just trying to, play around with things and see what I want to use. And I had to kind of really pick and choose because everything worked. Everything worked. And I do have some open space area in the photo where I can overlap something. Because this is basically the little stage in our spin room, and I'm on a bike, I'm on the instructor bike, and then everybody that's in my class is gathered around. And this actually was taken the week of my birthday. Every time one of our members has a birthday, even me, we always, they bring balloons, the members bring a cupcake for the person whoever's birthday it is, and I get to play their favorite music, and we just have a good time. And so, in this day, it was my birthday. We always take a group picture, and it was fun. It's just one of my favorite classes to teach. I teach a couple other classes as well, but I've been teaching spinning the longest. So yeah, all these little die cuts work. I'm going to tack in this little banner piece here. It's made of fabric. It says teamwork. I'm going to use that big piece that says, yes, I love my job. There's a piece at the top that says, yes, you can, or check. There's a check in a box. You can. Routine. There's a little piece that says routine up at the top left of the photo. So yeah, so many things that worked with this. It was a lot of fun to kind of go through everything and try to narrow it down. That was hard. So I'm going to add a little bit of tangled thread before I glue anything down. I've got the darker blue color. I've got that light coral color. And I'm just going to use that to add some little pops of color and some texture. And check these stickers out. These are Puffy Stickers. They are the really pretty light coral color. Love the font. They're this really pretty scripty font. And I thought I would just kind of have fun with the title. And I'm going to make my title another day at the office, because obviously this isn't an office, but it's my office, so I'm going to use that as my title. There are 3 packages of these little mini tiny puffy alphas in 3 different colors. I'm going to go with the blue ones. But I'm trying to figure out how I want to arrange those, because I'm going to mix and match. I'm going to use another day at the with the small ones, and then office is going to be in the big scripty ones there. So I glued everything down. I also used a little tab at the bottom right hand corner that says Monday, or MON. I think there's one in there for every day of the week, because my spin class is every Monday morning. I went through the stickers. I found stickers that worked: Hustle and Heart, Daily Grind, Puffy Stickers. I tried a couple. I do use one here shortly that says Get It Done, that one right there, and I'm just going to stick it right on top of the picture. And I'm going to try to figure out how to arrange the stickers, because I want to use my ruler to get them straight. But I also want to incorporate office, and the F's in office are, you know, pretty tall. So I get my ruler out and I go ahead and put the F's down so I know where they're going to be. And then I'm going to start backwards and put down another, but I'm going backwards so I know exactly how to line it up. And it just took me a while, because I had to add glue behind every single one of those little letters, because I used all that paint, all the gesso, all the watercolor. Nothing ever wants to stick to all that stuff. So I glued each little letter down, and I love how it works around the word office. Now, I did want to use this little sticker here. It says New Monday, New Week, New Goals. I had to use it because it was a Monday. And I'm going to fill in all this little open area here with a couple more stickers that have little quotes on them. I can't remember what they say. I can't read them from here, but they definitely go with the theme here. I'm going to add a little bit pop of yellow down at the bottom with some thread here underneath that little sticker, and I did add some foam under it to raise it up. But now you can see the effect of the white paint. You can kind of see how I wanted to have everything in the middle pop against a white background, but still have a subtle border around with all those words. It just gives it some separation. It takes away some of the busy factor, and allows you to actually see everything without being overwhelmed with pattern. All right, I'm almost done here. The last thing I did was add in some lines with a pencil, and then wrote in my journaling and added the date. But that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I think it's really fun to challenge yourself to use a collection to, you know, make it fit you. Like I said, I don't have photos of me at an office job, because I don't have an office job, but I made this work for me, and I feel like anybody can make this work for any type of, you know, a goals layout, or any type of project you're working on. You know, snap some photos of it and document that. So there are definitely lots of possibilities for this, and I can't wait to come up with another idea to use this collection, because it's really fun and the colors are awesome. So let me know if you have any questions. If you want to participate in our challenge, you can find it over on the blog, and you can upload your project there. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.